Aston Villa 2, another home defeat for Tottenham Hotspur. That's the second of this season, losing to Bournemouth at home and Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa have now beaten us, I think, 3 out of the last 4 home games as well, where they've come here.
Drawing to Wolves, a minute away from losing to Wolves as well.
Yeah, that as well. 3 out of our last 18 games at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we have failed to win, which is just mind-boggling, to be honest. And it's coming a bit concerning when, look, I've got full faith in Frank, and I think he's a top manager, and I think he will get it right eventually. However, at home, he's consistently getting it wrong. That's the reality where we're at right now. And he keeps persisting with Bentancur and Paulinho in the middle of the park. I think we can all see that that's not the right way to go against, especially a team where you're looking to dominate the possession and progress the ball in the central areas. And I don't understand why he doesn't just try something else at least. You know, put a Pape Sarr in there, put a Bergvall in there alongside a Paulinho or a Bentancur. I just don't understand why he doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's also the first time, I think, under Frank, we've taken the lead and given it up.
Yeah.
And end up losing or not even winning. I think we've actually been pretty good this season when we've taken the lead and been managing games has been quite encouraging, but it didn't happen yesterday. Look, I just want to caveat this. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the full 90 minutes, so I have to go on what I've seen, which is like highlights and stuff and stats. But from what I've seen, we kind of took the lead and we didn't kind of take advantage of that. We didn't manage the game brilliantly. We allowed Villa back into the game. I've seen some of the stats when it comes to Bentancur's like ball progression and his and Paulinho and their lack of ability to play the ball forward. There's an unbelievable picture we'll see in Reacts of Bentancur's passing map throughout this game, and literally it's just side to side, and any pass that went forward was unsuccessful. So there is a big problem there. But then there was any pass forward was unsuccessful, but very little was forward. It was like 1 or 2 passes.
Yeah,
like a lot of the time, it's playing it safe, it's side to side. It's trying to build up through the wings, through the wide areas. But the thing is that an instruction? Because it's now something that continuously happens. If you take a snapshot of the middle, a lot of the time it's vacated. There's not many players in the middle. We're allowing, it seems as though Villa to dominate in those central areas because we want to get the overloads in the wide areas. And when you're not getting a doggy there, you're having Spencer, he's less willing to overlap and things like that. It's less and less effective. We did at times get Kudus involved on the right hand side. He was looking dangerous. Odebear. Actually, thought Odebear, from what I saw, looked quite good. He looked quite sharp. So I think he's getting better and better. But I think Frank has got to take a bit of responsibility for, first of all, the team he's picking and how we're approaching these games. The worrying thing for me is Frank said after the game, it's the team it's the game he expected. It's how he expected it to go. That kind of worries me a bit. Why did you expect it to go like it did, with a lack of, creating chances through the middle?
I would say, I thought we started the game obviously we went 1-0 up really early. Unbelievable cross into the box from Kudus, right? Headed down from Paulinho, Bentancur puts us 1-0 up. And I thought we were by far the better team up until Villa scored. And when Villa scored, I think it was against the run of play. And I think we were creating some sort of opportunities and openings. I don't think it was as bad as how people are making out. And we definitely deserve something from the game. I think we definitely deserve something from the game, and I think a loss didn't show the true reflection of how Spurs played, because I think we were more than good enough for a draw. And don't get me wrong, we should have created more and we should have tested Martinez a lot more. But once Villa scored, it just seemed like we couldn't figure out a way to kind of counteract that, and come the second half, it just seemed to get worse. So I just don't understand where's the response, where's the kind of tactical flexibility that Frank is known for, where's the early changes. I felt like we needed changes a lot earlier than, I think we made one at half time, but even after that, we needed more, and we needed more creativity in the midfield. And Javi Simmons is going missing a little bit in games at the moment, and he seems to be isolated in the 10, and he's dropping deep a bit to try and win the ball, and and to win possession back. But when he gets on the ball, I don't know, he just seems a bit lost at times. I don't really understand what's going on with Xavi.
It seems as though we're not finding him. That's my point. We're not playing through the line centrally. We're always going out wide. So he's finding it really hard to impact the game in the areas he wants to, I feel. Again, I didn't watch it for 90 minutes, so I can't really say how many times he did pick up the ball and how at fault he was. But I'm just looking at passing maps and the highlights and stuff, and it seems as though we're not getting him in the positions we want to get him in. And when Bentancur and Palhinha are not looking for him in between the lines.
Whenever Xavi, yeah, it's true, because whenever Xavi picks the ball up, it's always when he's trying to drop deep and get himself some sort of action and get himself on the ball. And what I liked about Xavi yesterday was how he did, he wanted to get involved and he wanted to make a challenge, and he was putting himself about a bit to try and win the ball back. But on the ball, he didn't do much. And it's probably a lot to do with what you're saying, is that in the areas in where he's picking up the ball, it's always around the halfway line, in the centre circle, around that area. We need him further up the pitch. We need him on the edge of the box, on the D, around those, so he can thread those balls through.
The reality is, at the moment, we're not a threat in open play.
Yeah.
Very little. The goal again came from a set piece. A lot of our good chances, remember Odebert had a good chance which was blocked in the 60-yard box. I think Mwani had one. Those came from long throws. So again, I looked at the stats. Our open play expected goals was 0.16. Villa actually had a higher open play XG than us. Most of our XG came from set plays, 0.59. So we offer very little threat when it comes to open play. That's a big concern, and that has been the case for most of our home games, to be honest. We are struggling to create good quality opportunities, and it means whenever we see a missed chance, Tel missed a big one in the first half. Whenever we miss one of those, it's a big thing because we're not creating a lot. So when we miss one, it becomes like a big moment in the game when really we shouldn't be remembering those bad misses, because we should be able to create a lot more than we are.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem at the moment, which Frank has yet to sort out.
Yeah, and it seems like he is making the same mistakes at home, kind of the majority of times we played at home this season. I think Wolves, he did the same thing. Now he's done the same thing. Bournemouth, he did the same thing. Like, these 3 games, he's made the same mistake each game. And you think, like, after the first one against Bournemouth, he would learn from it. Wolves didn't. Same thing. You thought against Wolves he would have learned from the 2 mistakes. No. But against Aston Villa, he's made the same mistake. And he needs to sort it out quickly. And I think he will. Like, this home form can't carry on for much longer. Like, we need to turn it around very quickly at home. We really do.
At least it's Bournemouth. We were battered. This game was a bit different, but agreed. I think the big concern, defensively in this game, I don't have too much of a problem with it.
Vicario was rarely tested.
Yeah, both goals they scored, we'll get onto them, but Vicario should be doing better with at least one of them. And look, they're both from outside the box. It's not like they were good chances created. So they had one chance, I think, in open play. That was Marlon played through, and he kind of hit it into the side netting. That's the only real good quality opportunity they had, I feel. So defensively, it wasn't a massive problem. But when you're in the Premier League, these things can happen. You come up against players like teams like Villa who have Rodgers, and they've got good attacking players. They can get a goal out of nothing. And you have to be able to respond to that. You've got to make sure you're creating enough chances so that it mitigates if something like that can happen. And we're not doing that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, the defending was good for the most part, but I did think we switched off for both of the goals that we did concede. I know both of them are brilliant strikes, and the first one with Rodgers, I think Xavi Simons I think it ricochets off him and it lands into Morgan Rodgers' feet. But then once Rodgers finds that ball, he's got so much time and space. There's no one rushing out to try and block it or to tackle him. And he takes a shot, and what an unbelievable hit it is from Rodgers. Kind of loops over Vicario, but it's not in the corner or anything like that. I think Vicario, I feel for him because it is a very good strike from Rodgers, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Vicario could have done a little bit better there.
I think he should do a lot better. I know it's a good strike, but I watched it back, and I've watched it a few times, and I noticed something when Rodgers gets the ricochet of Xavi. He then takes a touch to his right-hand side, and when he takes that touch, notice Vicario if Vicario's, if you're looking at Vicario's point of view, Rodgers takes that touch to the left, and then he takes a tiny step, right? And if you notice, if he doesn't take that step, he saves the shot, because Rodgers then has that strike across the face to goal. It dips over Vicario, but if Vicario was just one step to his right, which he just made before Rodgers shot, he saves the. I think he saves it, and I don't think Vicario had to make that little step to the left. I don't know why he did it. I think it was a bad mistake. I think he's in the wrong position, and that's why he was open to the ball just dipping over him from the right-hand side. And as you say, it's nowhere near the corner, actually. Yes, it's a good strike. I think he would have to palm it away. I don't think he can catch or anything. But I think he takes a little step to his left, and it was a bad positioning move, and he would have easily saved it, I think, actually, if he didn't take that step to the left. So I think he should have saved it. I think if that's Donnarumma in goal, that's a save. If that's Raya in goal, that's a save. I think that's not the first time that he's let in a long-range strike now this season, which he should have saved. And I think for me, it's a good strike, but you should be saving it. So it's not unstoppable.
At what point are we going to talk about Vicario in this? I know we've been having a lot of conversation about him the last couple of weeks, but we've always been of the opinion, he keeps his spot. But I think this is like 4 or 5 games in a row now where a goal is his fault. He's at fault for a goal. So at what point do we talk about Kinski coming in? I mean, there was an article on Football London last week saying Kinski's development hasn't gone as planned and he's kind of regressing. Mm-hmm. So this is a problem as well.
Well, if they don't feel like Kinski's up to it, then I don't know what to say. But I would like to see Kinski get an opportunity. Put him in, maybe on Wednesday, maybe at Goodison. See what he's like. Because we know he's better on the ball than Vicario. See what if his shot stopping stands up to scrutiny. I would like to see him get him a go at this point, because Vicario, I think, is letting too many goals in that he should be doing better at. And it's happened for too long. When it first happened against Brighton, I was like, okay, it's one game. But now it's about 4 or 5 games where he's, even a game against Leeds, where he was shaky as well. It's happened too many times now. There's got to be some accountability there, and if he keeps playing and he keeps giving away some of these goals, then he's too comfortable, in my opinion. He needs to know that if he doesn't improve, he's out the team, and there's accountability. The problem with goalkeepers is a very specialised position where you can't just put Kinski in for a game and then take him out. Like, if you're going to give him a run, you have to give him a proper run. Like, because it's not fair on him to give him a game and then take him out again. Like, you have to give him at least 3-4 games. Like, keepers need stability. That's when they're at their best. So it's a difficult judgment call to make. But I think we're at a point now where I think Vicario's costing us a bit too much at the moment.
And also, it's even worse when the team aren't creating as much as we should do. Because, one goal can be just so detrimental to us, can't it? Mm-hmm. And like I said before, at that time when Vicario makes that mistake, we were on top and we were in the ascendancy, and I think that goal comes against the run of play. And if we go in 1-0 at half time, you never know what can happen in the second half. We might go on and, because there was a chance for us to go 2-0 up and we don't, and it finishes 1-1 at half time. And then we go on and lose the game. So, I mean, every mistake, every goal that we concede seems to be like a crucial goal. Mm-hmm. Because of our lack of chance creation.
Yeah.
And
second goal, I wouldn't put it on him, to be fair.
The second goal, again, though, it was the same problem with the defence. I felt like Buendia was just in too much space in the edge of our box. Like, I see Bentancur, he's behind the ball. Like, why is Bentancur not rushing out and trying to block Buendia or put in a challenge or, make himself seen? Like, I get the criticism coming towards Vicario for the first goal. Yeah, I get it. But I don't see enough criticism coming to why Rodgers and why Buendia are in so much space on the edge of our box. And I know both of them are brilliant strikes, and Buendia's, I don't think Vicario could do much. And, on the face of things, you can say, oh, what can you do when a player has so much strike? Well, you can block them and you can try and make it more difficult than what we did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Frank said at the end of the game, if you asked me that they're going to only have 2 shots on target and they're both going to be from those positions, he would take it. So clearly he's not too worried about players taking shots from those kind of distances and expecting it to cost us. But I think
he's
they are
like
too passive, to be honest.
he's fully into like the high XG chance. He wants Spurs to create the most high XG chance. Like he's a massive believer in XG and all that kind of stuff and the data. And both those chances would have been very low XG in terms of what they produce. So that's kind of where he's coming from, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, look, I think they're too passive. I think someone's got to be getting out to them a lot quicker. First of all, I think Rodgers was it's a bit lucky because he got the ricochet and then all of a sudden it bounced and he took the shot fairly quickly. Buendia, I think, way too much space. Someone's got to get out to him a lot quicker than they did. But it is a great goal. You've got to say, great team goal from Villa. Matt Cash with an unbelievable volleyed pass. McGinn, brilliant control and a brilliant pass into Buendia. And then, so from their point of view, it is a great team goal. But yeah, someone has got to be taking responsibility there. And it seems as though everyone's looking to pawn it off to one another and no one's taking responsibility to charge out him and allowing him to shoot.
What does Sarr, though, have to do to get a start? Like, he started the season so well, didn't he? Then got a knock, came out of the team. And now he just can't get back into the side.
Playing against Bodo wasn't very good, was he?
True, yeah, but I think that's like he was just... that was his first game back from injury. Like, in the Premier League, when he started the season, he was one of our best players. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we should be playing Sarr, if not Sarr, Bergwijn, alongside João Palhinha. Just take Bentancur out for one home game, and I'm telling you, it'll get better. It'll get better, and you'll see us progressing the ball through the middle a bit better.
I don't know. I've got a feeling it's not a personnel thing. I'm starting to get that feeling. It's because when you're looking at how the team is set up, I'm not saying Frank's a bad manager. I'm just saying he's looking for different things. I don't know if he wants to progress the ball centrally. I think Bentancur can do it. We've seen him do it. I don't think it's a thing where he refuse, like he can't, not able to do it. I'm just wondering if it's instruction. Play it safe, get out wide, and create the overloads out wide.
The thing
Don't
is, right,
focus on going through centrally.
The thing is, right, at Brentford, we saw what impact his number 10 can have with Mikkel Damsgaard. Like, he was running games like in that number 10 position, and it's not like he was dropping deep and collecting the ball. He was so central on the edge of the box, orchestrating the play. Like, they progressed the ball through the middle at times, but they also used width and attacked in the wide areas.
But what's the difference when he's at Brentford compared to when he's at Tottenham? At Brentford, he's pretty much in very, very few games is he expected to dominate possession. At Tottenham, it's going to be over half your games, probably more, maybe 60, 70%. You're expected to be the one on the front foot. You're the one that's going to have players behind the ball. So it's very different. So maybe it works at Brentford when it did, but at Tottenham it's very different expectations, and it's he's got to work out how to, when you're a manager of this kind of team who are expected to be way more on the front foot and need to be better in possession. It's very different, and we've seen in certain games, even a game, maybe it's no surprise, away at Brighton, a game we're not expected to dominate possession, all of a sudden we see Xavi come alive. But when games where the opposition is sitting back, he's struggling to get involved.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it needs to he needs to sort it out, Frank.
Yeah, you might have a point there, but it feels like when we set up away from home and when we set at home, it's exactly the same setup.
Right, but why do you think it works better away from home?
No, I agree with you. Yeah. No, I'm saying you're making a good point. Yeah. But when we're at home, we need a more attacking, a more possession thinking setup, and we don't have that.
You know what? We sit here and we accused Arteta of playing with the handbrake on. I think we're doing the same thing. I think he's playing way too pragmatically. I think he's way too worried about at the moment. The opposition, and he's planning for it, and he's playing with two defensive mids. He's got to get Bergwijn in there for me in these games. Take it to him. Like we've believed that we've got the better team. You're playing at home. Go at these teams, and I think I don't know whether he's creating like a solid base, and he's like kind of building foundations before he really goes at teams. Maybe we'll see that later down the line. But at the moment, it's a frustrating watch, and I'm not saying. Just because now it's bad, I don't think he's a good manager. I'm just saying it's at the moment I'm watching it, and it's especially at home, it's not great. It's not a great watch.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I fully believe in him. I fully believe that he can get it right, and I fully believe that we're still on the right path and are going in the right direction. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of calls on social media and stuff for Frank out, and I just think it's madness, absolute madness.
I don't think anyone's serious.
Frank is a very good manager, and he'll work it out. And the only thing that just drives me a bit insane is that how he's done the same thing 3 times, and we've seen how 3 times it hasn't worked now. So next home, our next home game is Man United, I think. So he's got to change it up for Man United, and he's got to go with a more attacking setup in midfield and see how that kind of changes things. But in terms of our wingers, we've got Odegaard and Kudus. You know, I think Odegaard, well, basically, Kudus wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't his greatest performance. I don't think he was poor, but he did attempt 6 dribbles on the day and 0 successful. However, I did see a couple of times he did beat his man. I don't know if I don't know why it didn't count on the stats of a successful dribble or whatever. But unbelievable cross for the first goal.
Yep.
With his left peg out on the left wing. I think he put in another ball on the right-hand side, which, you know, caused a bit of carnage in the middle of the box. But Villa was so focused on stopping Kudus that I think it left so much space on the other side for Odegaard, and Odegaard kind of had a free roam a little bit on the left-hand side, and I think that's why you saw him grow in influence a little bit.
Yeah, I thought he played quite well. I think, again, he's getting better and better. Had a couple of efforts on goal, which Martinez had to save. I think he's getting more and more involved. So I'm liking his improvement, but yet again, what we always say with Odegaard is needs to be doing more when he gets to those positions. You know, at the end of the day, as much as I like he's improving and stuff like that, he is starting a winger for Tottenham in the Premier League. So, you know, there's certain expectations that come with that, and what comes with it is you have to be a lot better in the final third. It doesn't mean I don't think he can get there, but right now he's just not there, and that's frustrating. But fair play, he's improving, and I want to see him keep improving. I want him to get to the levels. Kudus was again, I think we saw the best and worst of him yesterday. There were some occasions where he was great, but then there was a few where he had lots of time. He got in behind. He had time and space to pick out his man and create a chance, and he was on his right foot and he fluffed it. And there was even one time he allowed the defender to get back in on him when he had loads of time in behind to pick someone out. So that is something that I think has always been a bit of a frustration with Kudus, where he can wait too long, he dawdles on the ball a bit, he always likes to dribble and beat his man rather than do the most effective thing, which is get the ball in early. And that, I think, efficiency is something that Kudus really needs to work on.
And the one time he did get the ball in early, we scored a goal.
Yeah.
And it just creates... His cross is so good, man. But look, I think a lot of people were talking about Kudus' performance yesterday, saying how bad it was and it was a disaster, but I don't think it was as bad as what people were saying. Like, I don't think our performances was as bad as maybe people were saying. Kudus was okay yesterday. Like, he just wasn't as good as he has been, you know, because he's been phenomenal in the last couple of games. But this game was obviously a step backwards, but it wasn't a bad performance, I don't think.
No, he still created chances.
Yeah.
And he was still probably our most dangerous avenue of attack. So I wouldn't go on him. I think the problem is we're so reliant on him.
Yeah.
When he doesn't, get a goal or assist, all of a sudden that gets focused on, because if he's not, no one else is.
Yeah, it's so true. But I thought as well, Tell was pretty non-existent. He should be putting the ball in the back of the net, which is really frustrating. We've seen these misses. We saw them against Doncaster as well.
That would have been a Kudus assist, wouldn't it?
Would have been a Kudus assist. So that was really frustrating.
Well, it went through his legs. I don't know how he missed it.
I don't know, man.
Took his arm.
He's got to be doing better. He's got to be doing better. And if he wants to make a starting spot in this team his own, he's got to be putting those chances away. Like we said, Javi, a bit anonymous, not showing much on the ball. Our best player, again, was probably João Palhinha in the middle of the park. Like, the guy is just so good. Like, puts out so much fire in the middle of the park. He's the 6 that we've been crying out for so long. It's just a shame that he can't progress the ball maybe as much as we'd like. But, like, I think most of our shots came from him on the edge of the box.
And he got an assist for the goal.
Yeah.
He was causing the problems. I think he forced a save out of Martinez in the first half. Yeah, another really good showing from him, and he's Mr. Consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure. And, I think most likely going to take up this option to sign him permanently if it keeps going this way. What really annoyed me in the game, you're 2-1 down, Spurs on the attack in the last minute. Pedro Porro has the ball. And in anyone that you want in that position, it's Pedro Porro to slide that ball into, I can't remember who the striker was that was going to be running onto it.
Moani, maybe?
Maybe it was more, I can't remember who it was, but terrible ball, and it goes out for a goal kick, and you're like, oh, this ain't our day, man. Like, if Pedro Porro is playing those kind of passes, you ain't taking anything from the game. Like, what was that from Pedro, man?
And also, I have to say, it's also at home. I would say in all our games that we haven't won at home, each time we've been behind, and I know we did equalise against Wolves, but all 3 games we look to have run out of ideas very quickly. And when we've been behind, we don't look like we're going to get back in the game. Luckily against Wolves, we did with a goal out of nothing for Paulinho. But in yesterday and the Bournemouth game, we just did next to nothing to get back in it. Fair enough, like we've done it away from home, Brighton and Boda, we were down and we came back in it. And we were quite good, I thought, in coming back. But at home, in those games, we've offered little to nothing in those periods.
Yeah. You got to say as well, like, it's so early in Frank's tenure, right? Like, to have, like, major concerns, in my opinion. You look at every club that he started at, he's had really slow starts. And I think he's probably the best start of his career has been at Tottenham in terms of results-wise. So, look, I think there's a lot to look forward to under Frank. There's a lot to look forward to with this team. But I do just feel that we've got a lack of quality in that forward line. I think we've been saying it all season. And I think it's so evident, man. We need more quality.
I think at the moment it's just unfortunate. Moani and Solanke we haven't seen yet properly.
Madison, Decky.
And Decky. I mean, if all those 4 players are available, I think it'd be a different kettle of fish when it comes to talking about quality.
Yeah. I think really Madison is missed so much in this team. And Decky would add something different as well that we don't have. So, once again, it's that age-old story of Spurs suffering with injuries. But look, Spurs lose the game. We do have Champions League football this week, so time to dust ourselves off, concentrate on that, and hopefully make it, 2 wins and a draw out of our first 3 Champions League games away at Monaco. So that is our match review. Let us know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. We're going